Good morning, lovers. Welcome to Beyond the Formula, my podcast where we dive into the magical entrepreneurs of the world that are iconic, successful, and super brave to start their own business. And I cannot wait to introduce our very first ever guest. I'm so excited because she's my hero, she's my icon, she's my idol in the natural green, natural beauty space of life. It is Imelda Burke. Yes! Imelda, you're
Thank you,
here,
Alex.
and I'm so excited that you are here. I want you to tell the NINI lovers and the world that is listening right now to Beyond the Formula who you are and what you do.
Okay, so in 2008, I founded a store called Content, which was,
The best.
and kind of the first next generation of natural beauty store. So we specialized in brands that were coming out who had attempting to fit themselves into the
Okay.
mainstream beauty industry rather than a health food store. So it was lots of very exciting brands. And I've worked on lots of projects, developing other brands, working with very large companies as they tackle the world of naturals and how to do that. And written a book. And
You have the nature
worked
of
on
beauty.
lots of exciting things.
You have. You've done lots. And do you know what? I love it because just the first thing you said is you were probably the first. No, you were the first to bring the natural green beauty world to the UK in such a way with the Content store. And I want to dive more into that because it's how I found you. Actually, do you remember interviewing me?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Because for all those that are listening, it was the shop that I joined in 2015 maybe or 14. And I was the first guy that you ever hired in the store.
Yeah.
And I remember feeling like I've just won the lottery because I would go to Content Beauty, and those that are listening or watching and know about Content Beauty would know how many hours customers would spend in that store just being
True.
consumed by the magic that you created. And I remember being there like, I need to work here one day. And that was when my journey when I was in natural and organics. And then I applied, and I remember sitting with you in 108 and you were like, yep, he's the one.
Yeah.
And I got the job and I was so excited. But let's go back to the early days of you opening a store. How did that even come about? How did you discover green beauty, natural beauty? What did you call it?
Next generation of natural beauty. So there were brands
that.
already, obviously. Dr. Hauschka, Weleda.
Yes.
Organic Pharmacy had been going for a few years.
Yes.
Then Ren had been going for a few years.
Yes.
But there was, a real kind of development of how these brands were kind of pitching themselves into the industry, I think, and kind of a different price point from what you would find in a health food store.
Yeah.
But there wasn't really anywhere for them to be stocked because they were too niche for department stores and kind of too premium for health food stores. So there was this amazing little gap for many years.
You pioneered
that
it.
we launched kind of all the mainstream, what have gone mainstream now brands.
So where do you see the landscape of that natural green beauty moving now then? Since you
It's-
pioneered them coming into the UK, so how do you see that?
Yeah, so we launched brands like Ilia, RMS,
Yes.
May Lindstrom, Dr. Alkaitis. I can't even remember. There's loads of them.
Loads.
Into
Tata
the
Harper?
UK. Yeah, Tata Harper. Space NK had it at the same time, but we launched at the same time. And so a lot of those now have gone on to be stocked in very large retail stores now.
But they came to you, they found from you.
Yeah. So I think it's interesting watching the development of the whole sector and how it has become a lot more accessible so that people have a choice over what they use on their skin.
Yeah. So going right back, what was the first seed that was planted for Content Beauty? Like how did that come? What did that look like?
So since birth, I've had a skin condition that affects the skin on your body. So I had to bathe in this horrendous dark green. I can still smell it. Liquid
Memories.
that would help fix my skin, and I had always had to apply, full body moisturizer every single day. And it makes it kind of a weird kind of sensitizing, so I can tell if a fiber has polyester in it. Kind of stings my skin.
Amazing.
It's kind of a weird thing. But
your bodies say no.
yeah, my body just said no.
Just said no.
Yeah, no plastic.
Get those microplastics off me.
Yeah.
We will
So-
talk about microplastics later on.
So it kind of, skin was always a thing
Yeah.
for me and something I had to think about daily. And I studied fashion design in New Zealand, and then, but I was always at the same time, I was always the one at lunchtime who kind of was poking around the health food store and finding some delicious thing,
Nuggets of
or
magic.
or some amazing product that I liked. And so it was always, and I think growing up in New Zealand, the kind of natural medicine and holistic kind of living is kind of part of the mainstream. You can find natural brands in pharmacies, even, when I was growing up. And a lot of amazing brands that have been around for years have come from there. So it was a weird combination. And then I moved here.
What
And
year was that you moved here?
99.
99? I was
Yeah.
9. I was 9.
Oh my God,
Amazing.
Yeah. And when I moved here, I didn't want to ship. I had this medicated cream. I
Yes.
didn't want to ship that across from New Zealand. So I looked at the label and tried to kind of ascertain what the key ingredient was that
Okay.
made it work, because
Okay.
nothing else really worked. And then that started making me look at ingredients. And at that time, I lived in Spitalfields. So it was when Spitalfields was just this kind of empty, cavernous space.
Yeah.
And they had a Sunday organic vegetable market.
Oh my goodness.
So I was down there schlepping bags of organic vegetables home, but hadn't really thought about this product that
Yeah.
I put all over my skin. I had, natural cleaning products at home,
Yeah.
all that type of thing. And just went, this is insane. I've never thought about this. And started looking at what was in and just went, hang on. I've been like putting
too.
stuff that I don't like the look or sound of
Yeah.
all over my body. There must be things that are kind of closer to nature that I can use. And that started that kind of thought. And then I loved shopping in, Space NK is a great emporium, but
Yeah.
there were no options really for me at that time. So I just started, and I could see that Ren had launched, and I could see there were a few other brands about to launch, and I just said, there's this amazing spot. You know, if there's other people like me that are shopping organic food, interested in natural well-being, and then that there was this great spot. But I'd started studying naturopathy as well, as working in fashion. And then I continued to do that, but I opened the store, and then the store kind of took off. So I did 2.5 years of that. And then,
So when you was in like other beauty shops and you was like, I can't necessarily find nothing's singing to me really necessarily in here. When was that moment that you started looking to open up your own shop? Do you remember that light bulb? Was it a light bulb? Was it a light bulb moment, or was it like a feeling? Like what happened?
it was just I kind of had the idea. Actually, I remember standing in the shower where all great ideas come from.
Singing.
And went, it's what I want is an organic pharmacy. I want a place where I can go and just have products, tinctures, all the rest of it. Got out of the shower, Googled organic pharmacy, and they had just launched kind of not long before. So I started thinking of this in 2006 probably. And I was annoyed the name had gone. But
I know.
then,
That's so
it's a great
funny.
name.
It is a great name.
And then then it kind of become, okay, so other people have thought of this, and they had their own brand. At that time, they had other kind of well-being products that were not their brand, but their skincare was their own brand.
Yeah.
And my concept was a bit different. It was kind of bringing together all the new natural brands that were coming out to make it kind of an apothecary of natural beauty.
And did you come across any hurdles that you had to overcome before opening up the shop, or was it quite plain sailing? Because at that time you were the first, you pioneered it.
Yeah.
That kind of hub.
Yeah. It was kind of insane because I hadn't worked I probably worked in retail when I was really young, but I didn't come from a retail or beauty background.
Not in this capacity.
Yeah. And decided to find the smallest shop in one of the best areas.
The cutest shop.
In one of the best areas, which is, a great recipe for buying
Success.
a house or anything. And found this store. And then I did all the things like sitting outside other beauty stores in the area and seeing how busy they were, in cafes, not right on their doorstep.
Mm.
And
I love it.
Yeah, I did all
Interesting,
those things. Yeah.
Undercover.
Yeah. How many people are going in? I just kind of did it, which I think is when you get an idea, you kind of just have to do it. And I stood in that shop every day, or 6 days a week, for years.
In content?
Yeah.
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 When you opened it and
it was
launched
just, me and a whole lot of products for a long time.
I mean, when you camp out, well, not camp out obviously, but when you sit outside shops and like you're doing your own little market research, because I do a lot of it myself and I walk around town all the time, there's like this bubbling energy inside that feels correct.
Yeah.
So you must have had that when you opened up Content. So
Yeah.
do you remember the very first day that you unlocked those doors?
Yeah.
Did you pause, look around and go, damn, I've done it. Unlock those doors and open it.
Yeah.
What did that feel like? Do you remember that moment?
Yeah, it was, I don't really remember the opening of the door, but I remember the first sale very clearly.
Yeah.
Like it was a Butter London, which is still going, nail polish, red nail polish.
Oh, I thought it was Laid Bare. Do you remember the Laid Bare body lotion?
Yeah,
oh God.
No, but that didn't exist then. But
No.
then from there it was just every day, because we didn't. It was basically all self-funded, so we didn't have what you need now, which is kind of a very large marketing budget and things, and it was all unknown brands.
Yeah.
Sounds kind of insane now.
But you pioneered it, and now look where those brands are.
Yeah.
So that's a massive congratulations to you
Yeah,
for what
we
you've
were
done for
right
these
at
brands.
the beginning of that
Yes.
trend. Yeah.
You really were. So talking about trends then, and we will come back to the shop in the early days as well, but like, how do you see beauty now compared to when you opened up your shop back then in 2006, 7 that you opened it?
8.
2008.
Yeah.
So from then to trends now, how do you see the landscape has changed, or what have you noticed about the beauty industry? Let's say the natural, organic, next generation beauty industry.
Yeah, so it's changed a lot. There are a lot more brands, and a lot of the what we'd call mainstream brands have tweaked their formulations to fit in with that.
The narrative.
Yeah. And so it's become a lot broader.
Yeah.
I think there's still an interesting core customer that is shopping natural as kind of a form of activism. So we get people who are shopping only British brands and actively avoiding American brands.
Now?
Yeah.
Wow. And that wasn't the case back then, because they yearned for those American brands to come over.
Yeah. And I think that's just a current trend. But there's been all sorts of trends, like did a whole campaign around seed to serum, so people that were growing their own ingredients and processing right through to the final product rather than buying in ingredients. So there were lots of trends along the way that we kind of championed. We championed a whole launch of British natural brands with launching Bouclem and Leha, AS Apothecary.
Oh, I love these brands.
And Skin and Tonic, I think, was part of that. So it was championing the new, because for a long time it was all coming from America, and the American brands are fantastic, but there became a pocket of amazing natural British brands as well. And so now that's become a lot broader. You can access these products a lot more easily and readily at mainstream retailers.
But there's still so much comfort and heart when you shop with Content Beauty. There's so much that it still feels like the olden days to me. Whenever I'm on your website, or if I'm talking to you, or if I come to your studio, because people can come to your studio and have makeovers. Which tell us about that. Yeah.
So unfortunately, in 2018, we moved to a very beautiful large store.
Yes, which I was gonna come to that bit. Yeah.
And the small store had just become too small. And part of the concept, because I had come from the fashion background, was to include kind of more ethical fashion brands as well, and focusing again on those natural fibers. So we included fashion, books, low-tox living type products, plastic-free, vintage. secondhand clothing.
I mean, it
And
was a
then
beautiful shop.
Yeah, and then we increased the treatment rooms and
Yes.
had an event space as well. Unfortunately, that was end of 2018.
When the world
And
lost.
just as it was gaining its strides,
I know.
COVID hit.
We do not talk about her. We do not know her.
Which is, as an independent business, is incredibly difficult to navigate.
Mm-hmm.
So we made the with all the closures.
Well, a brick and mortar.
Yeah,
it was very difficult.
Yeah. And even when you could open, you couldn't touch
Yeah.
people. You couldn't have testers out. You had to steam the clothes.
So one of the worst things ever during that time, when I saw facials when they wore gloves, I was like, that is such a disconnect. How dare you wear gloves doing my facial? Like, just get off.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
And
on. So during that time, we started doing the video consultations,
Yeah.
and then we closed the store, kept the website, and then we started having some of our regular customers saying, as things opened up again, we know that you have the testers.
Yes.
Can I just come and try this new color, or can you match me for a foundation? So now we have a service where you can book to come into our studio, where all the predominantly makeup and some skincare. And it is almost like the mini shop.
It is. I mean, I've come, and it's incredible. And I just really want to make that a point to anyone that's listening or watching that wants to discover next generation green natural beauty, is that even though content, and we'll come back to this, Content Beauty Store has closed down, you can still discover and come and speak to the founder. You're there. You've got Cody there as well, who's incredible. So you can have these conversations and you can play around, and it's literally a magical emporium again that you've created in your space, which I love. Yeah. So please, everyone do check it out, and we'll come at the end of this podcast. We will come to where you can find everything like that. But in the shop, do you remember that moment when you closed the first one down to open up the second one, which was only around the corner, and it was a much bigger store. It was beautiful, but the first one was like that tactile hub of joy. And I was saying to you before that I remember when I was working there, I loved every single nuanced moment of that shop. The paint that you used, it was all obviously low tox or zero tox, whatever. But it was the paint that you used, the wood, the upcycleness, and the mirrors on the wall. I love the fact that you could take a mirror off, take your client outside, and show the payoff with
Different
the makeup and the glow. It was amazing. Yeah. Now, just to touch on that point for a minute, do you remember being that tactile when creating that shop?
I don't. It was, I was very determined to make it as kind of environmentally friendly as possible. So all the paint was the low tox, low emission, low off-gassing paint. The cupboards were recycled coffee and yogurt pots.
Yes.
Which
was amazing.
Was about the only, I think we were one of the first to use it, because that was 2008. It's now quite widely used. Vintage, like you said, vintage elements. And I think, and then there was kind of lots of people stopped. There was kind of a collage of botanical illustrations and almost, I guess, a mood board stuck on the wall, which lots of people liked as well. I wasn't really conscious of it being that tactile.
So funny.
But I think it's the difference between people making things versus things being created on a spreadsheet or a
there was definitely a human touch behind every single point of that first shop, and even the second shop. Yeah,
because it did feel more like an apothecary, I guess. I did have one of the really conscious thoughts I had at the time was I wanted it to feel like a store, store where you would go, your mum would take you to your local store and they would remember you and remember you'd just been on holiday and give you a free sweet or apple or whatever it was. So it felt like a local store rather than a chain store. Yeah. And I think that's what lots of people liked about it. Some people would just come and sit in the store to have a break from work.
In that red chair?
Yeah.
In that red chair. Where was that red chair from? Do you remember where that red chair was from?
It was a vintage one again.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
great.
Yeah.
For anyone that remembers, you'll remember the red chair.
Yeah.
And also, I've
Lots
got
of husbands sat in
lots
that
of
red
husbands,
chair.
lots of boyfriends and husbands sat in that red chair
Yeah.
whilst the wives did their thing. It was
Yeah.
great. And I remember when Trini came into the shop, and
Yeah, she's amazing.
it was Hurricane Trini when she
Yeah.
came in. It was
Yeah.
hilarious. She was literally using everything and trying everything, and she was on
Yeah.
her camera. This is before she had her own brand or
Yeah,
anything
yeah,
like
she
that.
was a great champion. She did that
Really
most
did.
incredible video where she stood outside talking about the store and then went in and gave
Yeah.
everyone a tour of brands that she
Yeah.
liked and things.
But
Yeah,
let's
she was
talk.
phenomenal.
But let's talk about the champions of content, because let's not downplay it. You have A-listers champion content beauty.
Yeah.
Still, can you name them? Can you do a little name droppy? Just one or two.
We worked with you will know there
I
were
know
lots of
them,
people that
of course.
came into the store, but yeah,
I
we
worked
have
with some of them.
yeah, we worked with a lot of people in that it became a real hub for discovery, but also for people who wanted to kind of change, or people that were interested in sustainability.
Yeah.
So we had, completely plastic-free brands.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just took on its own little momentum.
Give us a little name drop.
You
Go on.
can draw.
Our name drop.
I wasn't on the shop floor, so I have no idea.
When
Alex.
Emma Watson came into the shop, I mean, she loves content beauty. She always has. But when Emma Watson came to the shop, there was a customer in there, and she just lost her mind. And she was the sweetest woman ever.
Yeah, she's
so
amazing.
sweet. The most awkward thing that happened is because, do you remember there was an essential oil brand that had a Bunsen burner?
Yeah. Yeah.
And her friend, Emma Watson's friend, was like, "That's so cool." And all I could think of in my head was obviously the famous film that she was in.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, oh my God, I just want to say it. But obviously I didn't. But she was so sweet. And obviously you had loads of other amazing, amazing artists of the world come into that shop. Okay.
Yeah.
That shop.
My favorite was probably Michelle Pfeiffer.
Michelle Pfeiffer?
Yeah.
Who?
And the whole team, for some reason, it just happened to be a day I was there.
Oh my God,
so
I
it's
love
when
that.
Yeah, and the whole team lost it. Walked out the back and left me on the shop floor with her because they couldn't control their excitement.
I mean, she's stunning.
Amazing.
She's gorgeous.
And she's gone on to have her own fragrance brand.
I did not know that. Henry Rose. I did not know that.
Amazing.
And when I knew that it was founded by her, I was like, I love it even more.
Yeah.
How cool.
Yeah, she's incredible.
I remember doing Naomi Harris's makeup a lot of times as well. She used to come in a lot and get her makeup. She loved the Kia Weiss.
Yeah.
But I also remember one of my other favourite memories of that shop is not being able to ever keep in stock Well People's mascara. Never. Could not keep that in stock. It would sell out instantly. And Arabian Nights from Ilia.
Yeah.
Sell out instantly.
Yeah. God, that was amazing. Yeah, I still remember really clearly Sasha phoning up and going, somehow she got the phone number for the store. And it was so she launched 2011, maybe?
Yeah.
So it was very early. But she's like, I've got these 6 tinted lip balms, she was calling them, I think.
Yeah.
No, lip conditioners.
Lip conditioner.
And would you want to stock them? They've got this, and I was like, it was almost a sense of relief because finally we had some skincare brands that had beautiful packaging and had really taken on that kind of design branding aspect of it. And so they were looking less health food store brands and more premium kind of beauty brands. But the makeup was still quite tricky. So we'd launched RMS before, which was incredible. And then she phoned the store and said, I've got these. They're in these beautiful brushed aluminium.
They were gorgeous.
Okay, great. Finally, the makeup's going to look amazing.
They were incredible.
So we launched that as well.
And when it comes to you sourcing these brands, like how did that look with the first shop? Like how did you discover these brands? Like what happened? There was no Instagram, which is the main discovery tool for interesting things now. There was nothing like that. I caught on to graphic designers blogs and graphic design kind of industry online magazines, I guess, and because they like to show off their latest projects, and a lot of them that were coming, I could see brands coming through that had this
beautiful design, basically. And so I used graphic design websites to source brands.
That is so funny.
Yeah, it was weird. But I think I kind of opened with just enough brands, and some of them already existed. So we had Pie right from the beginning, John Masters.
Yeah.
There were some of those heritage brands that have been around for more than 20 years, which we had.
Yeah.
But once we opened it, then just kind of became
It just trickled in.
self-fulfilling. People would find us. Yeah.
And you are such an authority, and like people trust and believe in your opinion so much. Like that's why you call it content approved, because you've been around for so long. So anything that you have on your website or in your studio or what was in the shops was top notch in terms of efficacy, ingredients, sustainability, eco. You ticked all the boxes. Was that
I mean, it's hard. It's very hard to tick all the boxes. Like
most of the boxes, 99%.
Yeah, we have
boxes.
something for. So we tagged it kind of shop by ethos.
Yes.
So we have the badging system on the site, and you can choose like your priority might be vegan.
Vegan, yeah, exactly.
It might be glass packaging because you don't want to use the plastics.
Yeah.
It might be certified organic.
Yeah.
It might be female founded. So there's all sorts of. It could be British brands. There's all sorts of ways into how people are going to shop these categories.
And did you see that change? Have you seen that change through the years? Have you seen it become harder or easier? Like, how has that looked from when you started?
So I think there's different categories. What has changed is in the very beginning, it was very much about excluding ingredients. Customers were coming to us because they wanted to avoid a whole lot of ingredients.
All that stuff,
Mineral oil, all the rest of it. That has kind of almost become mainstream, almost, that certain things won't be used.
Yeah.
What started kind of quite quickly, and probably around when you started in the store actually, is that people started taking that as a given and then wanting products to perform,
work, results.
Yeah. So there's things like, have you got a natural vitamin C serum, or I want the best. A woman came in one day and I want the best anti-aging product, but all natural.
Yes.
So it became, the emphasis kind of slightly changed.
Yeah.
What's happening kind of now, and as brands have expanded and kind of become globally stocked.
More mainstream?
Some of them have taken on some of the especially in makeup. Makeup has to work on the day.
Yeah.
You need the results about that day, that moment, right now.
Yeah.
It has to stay on. Whereas skincare, it's usually you use it, the results come over a period of time.
Yeah.
So and it works for some of our customers. Some of them need a waterproof mascara. So a waterproof mascara isn't going to be 100% natural.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, they require that. And then the same with some of the foundation kind of products now. They're being formulated for longevity on the skin.
Yeah.
And for long wear. So some of the products now have become kind of, I guess, what you'd call clean beauty. So the focus is on exclusion of certain ingredients, but performance also. So they're kind of hybrid products now.
So some synthetics, but in a nicer base.
Yeah. And I think it's customers have to be clear on what they're shopping for.
Yeah.
Some, and we have customers who, with their skincare, certified organic, very natural.
Yeah.
And then with makeup, they're a bit more kind of playful around, well, I actually want a bright red lipstick. A bright red lipstick is never going to be, although it could be with insects. God, Janelle. But some of those colours are never going to be taken from natural minerals.
Yeah.
They're going to be dyes. Yeah, so a lot of the makeup now has become hybrid.
Well, that kind of leads me on to my quote from your amazing book, which we'll get onto in a minute, which I want to talk about. And I'm going to read it so I don't butcher it. There is, I've already butchered it. There is no less science in natural products than a synthetic one. It's all science.
Yeah.
So tell me about that.
I think when we first launched, there was kind of a lot of talk about kitchen cosmetics
Yes.
and people,
Olive oil.
people making products in their kitchens that didn't last and didn't have the proper preservatives and that. And we were very much ensuring that we weren't that place. And actually, you know, some of these brands did start as hobbies or projects or small batch production. But all of those products to be made for sale still have to go through the same rigorous
testing, honeys,
as any mainstream product. So, and I think there's almost, in a way, more science involved in formulating the naturals because you get batches that are different. You know, from season to season,
100%.
a lavender oil will be different from what it was the season before. You know, so there's a lot more complications, I guess.
There is. And also there's a lot more complications with stability in naturals.
Keeping it stable. Yeah.
Which I don't so with some stabilities in terms of like splitting, it doesn't bother me that much because and this is where the microplastics come into it, those synthetic binders.
Yeah.
If you deal with a microplastic, a synthetic polymer, that stability is iconic. Like it does not shift, it does not move. And I played with it because I wanted to see what it was all about. But I know that is just a film former that is doing nothing for my skin. There's no nutritional value whatsoever, but it's making the product stable. I don't mind a soft little split every now and then because at least you know that it's not. But what we're saying is that the brands that we stock or that you stock, the rigorous testing when it comes to naturals is still the same as what it has to be done on conventional beauty anyway.
Yeah.
So I also don't understand the misconception with people where like naturals don't work.
Yeah, and so it came from, first it was kind of kitchen cosmetics.
Yeah.
And then it was like nature versus science. And
it's all the same thing.
It's actually the same thing.
Yeah, literally. Where do you think your medication comes from?
Yeah, I was just about to say,
nature.
where does aspirin come from?
Exactly.
Yeah. So there's all those kind of standard discussion points about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and you know, some of the people that have made natural brands have been incredible, you know, scientists or chemists themselves. So that was one thing that always kind of confused me.
Yeah.
It's like all these to be on a shelf,
you have
to go through very strict EU and UK compliance to sell something.
Your products can't go moldy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that is the same as the same compliance that everyone goes through.
Exactly. And like with NINI, like with our water-based products, I've worked with a co-formula on those, and she's got decades and decades of experience with formulation. Yeah. Because my level of expertise only went so far when it was adding water to a formula. Yeah. So anhydrous, like balms and oils, they are much more easier to formulate than a water-based product. When you go into the water and actives, it's a new territory. Yeah. So I wanted to make sure that we ticked every single box. So I had to work with somebody that had decades of experience. And that's the thing.
Yeah, it's because it's a science.
Because it's a science, exactly. You know, and I'm a big believer when you're having your own business, you always have to work with other people that have got so much more extensive expertise than you might on certain things, but it's a collaboration, come together. So all of our formulas are, the water-based are all collaborative, but everything that we do is of top-notch, top-tier gorgeousness.
And I think the other point about that too is that even in mainstream brands, when you started looking at the marketing of a product, what they were often highlighting was an incredible alpine extract of XYZ. Yeah. So they, even though their base may have been mineral oil and other synthetics that often were there to extend the shelf life of the product rather than beneficial for the skin.
Exactly.
The key ingredients were quite often from naturals.
Yes.
So
always.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. What natural organic next generation beauty does is that we look at the alternatives. We make sure that the alternative ingredients that have to go in there to maybe stabilize, maybe perform, whatever, are very beneficial for your skin. Yeah. It's the alternative approach. Yeah. And that's where it is more nuanced, it is more complex, it is more difficult to create next gen natural organic formulas with biotech actives. And it's come a long way.
Yeah, has come
a long way. Okay, let's talk about the nature of beauty. Your book.
Yes.
Tell us about it. How the hell did you write a book?
Yeah.
Where
it
did
was
that come
difficult.
about?
It was.
I love that. It's difficult.
Was difficult.
Tell us.
It came from our blog. So we had.
Did you write the blog?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The majority of it in the early days. We did lots of things on that, like, you know, what was happening in the natural scene in London, in the UK, like events. So we'd do a roundup of events each month. We talked about ingredients, products, launches, all the rest of it. But an editor from Random House had come across it somehow.
Yeah.
And phoned up and said, do you want to turn this into a book?
What did that feel like?
It was amazing. I thought there was definitely space for a book at that time. I think I wrote it twice, or almost twice. Initially, I wrote it from a kind of a very scientific perspective. I quite like the science of products.
It's a very detailed book. It's incredible.
Yeah,
I love
and
it.
so
It's a Bible. People called it their Bible.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
So I wrote it it was much more science-led previously. And then when she read the first draft, she suggested that it should be more like how you experience the store, like a conversation on the shop floor, which she was entirely right about, and something
100%.
that you could gift people who were interested in natural beauty.
Yeah.
So I rewrote it.
I love it. Have you got plans of writing another book, or is this the
No.
one? No, I'm done.
Yeah.
One and done. Okay, I love that. And okay, so your first shop content, the first content shop closed down, but then you had this spark of genius idea to move to another shop. Or it was you were always going to close that one down to move to the other one because it was a bigger space and you could do more with it. What was it like opening up that other shop, incorporating everything that you incorporated into it? Did you have any hurdles whatsoever, apart from COVID? Did you have any hurdles whatsoever opening up that other shop, or any doubts?
It's always risky making a large, in every capacity, move like that.
Beautiful.
But I was, it had always kind of been part of the idea to have this kind of mini department store of sustainable.
It was.
Although that word is a difficult one.
Planet positive.
Yeah. It was really kind of, you know, combining part of my history, so the fashion part of it. We were always very about kind of learning, and there were lots of books out that were, you know, about going plastic free, that type of lifestyle living. Because I came from had started studying nutrition and naturopathy. The food element was kind of, we had the clinic also where we did herbal medicine, nutrition, acupuncture, facials. So that it was really a 360 kind of.
It really was.
Yeah.
And you also done lock-ins with the founders, which was so much fun.
Yeah, that was like when I moved here, I didn't understand what a lock-in was. And I think
so cool.
The licensing hours were, in New Zealand, they'd always been, you know, 3 a.m. or something. And here they were 11, was it? And so I discovered, living in that Spitalfield, Shoreditch area, that there were pubs that did these lock-ins. And then when I had the store, I kind of transferred that idea of after hours in the shop. So you'd shut the doors and people were there for masterclasses. So we did, RMS, Tatahapa, 12, all sorts
Age
of brands.
Natura.
Yeah,
I
Age
came to that
Natura,
one.
yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, amazing.
I think came to a 12 one as well.
Yeah,
Pedro.
all sorts of different things. And then we'd have, you know, on the shop floor, so some of the brand founders would come in and do one-to-ones with people.
So
but
now,
it was kind of events.
I mean, I loved it. I absolutely loved it, and I'd love to bring it back. Now, have you got plans of opening up another shop? Has that on the cards to bring content back into real life again?
I think
into a brick and mortar shop. Apart from your amazing,
I think it's tricky.
Tricky. Why is it tricky?
It's expensive.
It is.
Everything's a lot more expensive now. So even things like advertising it, that you stock a brand costs us 10 times more than what it did when we didn't have all those competitors.
Yeah.
So elements like that make the whole process more difficult.
I love
Rent is difficult. I think we definitely have people every week say, I miss the
Every
store.
week.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's funny by email. I used to come to your store and I really miss it.
Okay, well, we will do something about that. Let's see what happens in the future, hey?
Find me a store and we'll show up.
Well, exactly. Did you ever, on those shop floor days when you was in the shop, did you ever think this is not going to work?
I think initially you even to this day.
Yes.
Who knows what's going to happen tomorrow?
Literally, who knows?
Yeah, and I think that is the thing about business. You just, every day, you're almost constantly in some form of startup mode. So initially you're in true startup mode, but every project that you do is almost going back into startup mode again. So you have to keep that momentum. What was the question? I've lost it.
When you was in the shop floor, did you ever think it wasn't going to work?
Yeah, I think it was a real conviction, and like you said before, you get the energy and once I started looking at what was starting to happen and what my needs, it was a real thing that I want to shop this way.
Yeah.
Hopefully, other people want to shop
thousands
this
of people
way.
did.
Yeah, and so I had that kind of core belief that it would work.
Yeah. No, definitely.
That kind of drives you. And I think unless you have that, it's a mixture of passion, conviction, and naivety.
100%. And scrappiness.
Yeah. And energy. So if you have all of those, they're quite hard to maintain though.
They are.
It's the equation of founder burnout. But having those, and I think you really have to, being this far down the line now, you really do have to feed those, keep that momentum going. Yeah.
And obviously, when it comes to next generation natural, organic, biotech rich formulas, it is a preference. We're not against the conventional world out there of beauty because there are some incredible formulators out there that have created some iconic products, And I'm speaking for you as well. We're not against anything like that, but it's a preference what we offer. And what you offer.
And I think,
and what does that look like for you?
For me, it was just a choice. So I choose to shop at a farmer's market rather than a supermarket.
Yeah. You know what you're getting
buying,
as well.
Yeah, buying directly.
Yeah.
So it was, trying to apply those principles to the beauty industry and seeing if there were other people that believed it too.
But you did it. Sorry, I was going to say you did it in a luxurious way as well. I have to say.
Yeah, and I was just about to say actually, you read my mind.
Did I?
One point that I was always kind of interested in is if you take any industry, so from watches to fashion, food, anything, what's considered kind of luxury within those sectors is the handmade.
Yes.
So the couture, the handmade watch, the the beautiful food that's created,
the glassware,
sourced
clothes,
properly,
jewelry, artisan.
And that kind of wasn't a concept that was in the beauty industry. It was all mass produced, sat on shelves for 30 months. So you didn't know within that cycle how long the product you were buying had been on a shelf, sitting in a warehouse. And that's done so that brands can, ship product around the world and have it available. So there's a reason for that. But I was interested in taking those people that were actually growing from seed and growing their own ingredients and then distilling them and putting them into making their own products. So that was one part of it that kind of hadn't been addressed, like the fact that handmade or that idea of, in a way, kitchen cosmetics is the luxury,
and
the human touch.
And it's results driven.
Yeah.
And it works.
Yeah.
It works really good. Okay.
Yeah.
What advice then would you give to anyone that is starting their own beauty brand or well-being brand or whatever?
I think it's that combination of what I was just talking about. You have to, it has to be a compulsion almost. You like it. I remember at one point there was like, I kind of don't have a choice. I just need to do this.
Yeah.
And so,
I like that.
yeah. So if it kind of has gotten under your skin, then that gives you enough momentum to get through all the trickiness.
Yeah.
And you kind of, you have to find the joy of what you love about it.
Yeah.
I think it's complicated now to start as a founder, single individual. I think it's a lot more difficult now to get awareness around a brand without a large marketing budget. Back then, like in the early days of Instagram, you could just almost be, you could be found quite organically. Now it's hard to even be found on channels.
The algorithms all over the place.
Yeah. So there were mechanisms back when we started that made it easier for founders to grow their brands. I think there's also a lot of brands now.
There is.
So it's a lot more competitive. But I think, if you've got an idea, you have the passion to do it, you kind of just have to do it. You have to start and then work out things as you go along.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah, because I hadn't.
Yeah, I
just had nothing. Someone said to me once, so did you just open a store? And I went, yeah, I just got a whole lot of products together and put them on shelves.
Did you have funding for it?
I had some, personal money.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's fine. You started off with your own, like you said, you're self-funded.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but it wasn't a lot of money. It was like tiny amount.
But we're talking about 2008, so it's probably easier back then. Now it would be ridiculous.
Yeah.
So can you tell the difference between a brand that is heavily backed or artisan?
Yeah, I think there's well, it's interesting. People used to like the energy, I think, of the store. And I used to say it's kind of, the energy of all the founders putting their passion into these products, put them all together on a shelf. And if you believe in that type of thing, you pick up on it. And actually, we had a customer who used to come in and hold products. Oh, that's how she would choose them.
Really?
Yeah, based on, I've forgotten about that. She'd pick them up and she'd walk around the store, and based on how they felt, I'm not sure what she was picking up on, she would purchase whichever ones. That was always interesting.
What did you think of Julius? She must have loved that. The crystal infused, or even Amela.
Yeah.
Crystal infused life.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
You said a quote to me once: founded, funded.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So
tell me about that.
Yeah. So I think a brand, and quite often you see websites now that you go to the about page and it does read like something that was created on a spreadsheet. There is no obvious founder behind it. And I think people that are interested in this sector, people like to buy from people. So they like to know they're buying from someone who has the same kind of ethos as them, rather than just someone who's catching a trend and creating a brand that is set up for sale in the next 5 years or something. Yeah. So you can, we tend to focus on founder-led brands, although brands do need funding.
We do.
Founders do need funding.
We do need funding.
Yeah.
We do. Or support, just major support from customers. Word of mouth is epic for any small brand. Tell your friends and family, tell your loved ones. Like, gift it. It's that kind of sleepover effect, you know, like when you're with your girlfriends out for a coffee or out for lunch or anything. Ask them, like, what are you using in your skin? Oh my God, it's this amazing brand that I found. No one really has it. It's an artisan brand. You know, I found out Content Beauty. It's called NINI Organics.
Exactly.
You know, all that kind of stuff really helps. Funding is amazing, but like customers, people could be our biggest backers. Yeah. You know, if they stopped necessarily looking at what is just pushed in their mind, and they just
Yeah.
kind of like throw that to the side and just dig a little bit deeper. Like
Yeah.
all those sayings, diamonds in the rough, you know,
Yeah.
find the needle in the haystack.
Yeah.
And that's what content was for me. It was that if you know, you know, you know?
Yeah.
And it
And
still
I
is.
think I was reading something the other day about the music industry and how, you know, with AI generating music,
Yeah.
what is going to become more unique is a musician who plays their own instrument. So I guess
it's like we're reverting backwards.
yeah, you can kind of, that will almost become, I guess, the luxury of music.
100%.
And what people will eventually, as AI music, generated music becomes more mainstream,
100%.
will start to revert back and seek out. I guess it's like CD, vinyl,
Yes.
and records, yeah.
I agree.
And people that love that.
You can translate that into skincare.
Yeah, and I think there's, I mean, some of the brands we stock now are using AI to optimize the growth of the ingredients.
Yeah.
So there's incorporating elements of everything into a product, but then, you know, it's still founder led, natural.
We don't have to
and
completely
optimizing.
disregard AI altogether, but I think it's just being conscious about the use of it. you
Yeah,
know? I
yeah,
think
and
that's
using
all
it for what
good.
it's
Exactly.
good at, not replacing
Exactly.
a person.
Exactly. Okay.
Enhancing.
I was meant to actually ask you this question at the beginning of the podcast, but I completely forgot. So I was so excited to have you on, and for you to answer at the end. So you don't know what the question is, but I'm going to ask you now.
And now I'm going to have to do it with no thinking.
Yeah. Well, okay, I'll ask you now, and I'm going to ask you one more thing that I've got here.
Cool.
The question is, what is your secret formula to success? But hold that right now, because I'm going to ask you something else that I read, a quote that you done an interview a while back, and I want to see if it still stands up today. And it's a bit of a fun thing. Okay, you ready? They asked what your favorite juice was.
Oh, yeah?
Do you remember what you said? Or what your favorite juice is?
Well, it would be green with kind of low sugar element.
Okay.
Like I still make, hopefully.
Do you know any of the ingredients that you would have said to them?
Some kind of greens. I do like things like fennel.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Generic greens. And
Fennel. I wouldn't say fennel was a generic. I would say like kale.
No, like other generic greens.
Okay,
so
sorry.
like fennel with some kind of kale or
There's kale.
spinach or whatever.
No spinach.
And some, definitely lemon. No?
Lime.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
lime. Yeah.
I do love a lime. Ginger maybe.
Yes, you had ginger, and you had two more. You had a fruit, and you had a herb.
Parsley?
No.
No.
It was mint, and it was pear.
Oh, yeah, mint, of course.
So it was pear, fennel, mint, lime, kale, and ginger. I'm making that
today.
Give
me that recipe.
Right, there you go. It's yours. Well, that's what you used to make back in the day. That was your favorite juice. You still make it.
It's so good for your skin.
It might have changed. The landscape of your juice might have changed.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's answer that question. What is your secret formula to success?
I think it's kind of a lot of what we've talked about. You have to have that
energy,
compulsion to do something before you start. The consistency sometimes, and resilience are two very
100%.
key things. Sometimes it is just about being able to stay alive the longest.
I love that.
Hanging on for dear life through
whilst
all
glowing.
through all the global trials and tribulations. I think, I mean, I wouldn't advise anyone to do anything without that passion. Because once you get to 10 years of doing something, you need to be able to remember why you
did it in the first place
to keep the momentum up.
Yeah. And I love going on to Content's website. And I love coming visiting you in your studio. I think it's great. So tell the listeners and anyone watching how they can find you.
So the website's contentbeautywellbeing.com, and we do studio sessions where you can book to come in and chat to us about products, try things. And our Instagram is Content Beauty.
Love it. Now, sorry, before we close, I want to ask you one last question.
Yeah.
The word content, what does that mean to you now?
The same. So
The same. I
yeah,
like that.
so it's very difficult finding a name for a company. So difficult. When I came across it, though, it made perfect sense because it was part of what I wanted people to feel is that they were beautiful anyway.
Yeah.
And here's some nice products that you can use that are either better for the environment, great for your skin, focused on natural, positive affirmations around the way people look, instead of always talking about the negative and correction. So I wanted people to just feel content about themselves and the way they looked. And obviously the content of the products.
I love it. I think it's the perfect name. And I love it so much. It's my favorite. Well, thank you so much for being on here. No, thank you.
Well done. First podcast.
I know. So excited. Beyond the Formula, it's all about kind of like just diving in and seeing where we go, where the chat takes us. And I've loved having this conversation with you. You're amazing. I'm so proud to have you as a friend in my life as well. You're such a champion for the next generation, green beauty, natural, biotech, rich formulas of the world and the well-being. And I honestly think that you have pioneered that kind of movement and you've inspired me so much throughout everything. So thank you so much. We love you.
We love you too.
Okay, we'll see you next time on our second episode of Beyond the Formula. Bye.